yeah, 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 yeah. DG show, daily go getterism. Y'all, what's going on, y'all? Feeling alright? TK right in the place. What? Got a little bass for your face. Yeah, what's up? What's up, y'all? This is what happens when you overthink it. Come on, y'all. Come on, rock. Yeah. What's up, Jihad? What's up? Word. I hope y'all ain't getting no bad news today. I hope everybody's alright. Word. Hit the like button, y'all. Please. What up, y'all? How y'all feeling tonight? Yo, man, I ain't gonna front, man. This watch is killing the guard with the. I I can't beat on drums and wear this watch. This thing got to come off. It got to come. Easy. Oh, shit. I mean, everything got to come off, huh? That thing was hurting me. It make me feel like I'm pissing in the wind. What's good? What's good? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. With this your daily. It's the daily go-getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here, we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about, to you, he's the man, but to me, he's a bum tonight. To you, he's the man, but to me, he's a bum, right? I know what he really do. That's something you can't see through. I've been here before. Tonight, we even the score. It could be your mom or your dad, or a child you never had. Your best friend, lover boy. Your girl, yo, she brings you joy. Others see it, you can't. I understand, and we gotta do something about it. You think that you're the best, but I doubt it. It's time for the show. My name is Sun, also you can call me whatever, but don't call me broke together. I'm down with my peoples always, and for them we never phase. We will never part. Been down from the mud to start. Yo, what's up with y'all? I'm talking to one, talking to all. We gonna have a talk. You don't wanna hear it, just walk. I catch you on the other side. This is not the place for pride. No rainbow colors, but you can still listen, my brother. Everything is gonna be alright. I always keep my game tight. If you really wanna be down, yo, we gonna be around. Born on August 12th. Eat good for my health. I don't wanna be gone. Trying to let my trying to let my name live on. You know the deal, yo. About to be out peeled though. My name is Sun 7. Mac 11, Tevin Campbell. Yeah, my John. Yo, we gonna do it and it's on. What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, my peoples? Who we got? 10D? 10D was good. And Literal Trash. What up? And it was that Valerie. Says, I need stress relief. I took my TSI for collage. Man, I wish I knew what you were talking about, and I don't. But this is still a good look. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you, my man Jihad. Maritza Allberg, I didn't see you there. 10D says, good afternoon. So you must be overseas. Jihad says, I'll call the tune, release the stress from my body. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know, you know what I mean? I ain't no professional player. I just play it. Well, how'd it go? right, let's get it popping, yo. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. No stopping. 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 Yeah. No stopping. So let me put y'all on what we talking about tonight. It's the Daily Go Get 'Emism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omad with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omad with the rrrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Get 'Emism Show. I'm feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Emism Show, we are talking about to you. I said to you, he's the man. But to me, he's a bum. So we're talking about when you have a differing opinion than someone else about someone that you both know. You know how it is. Sometimes one person knows a person in one way and another person knows a person in the other way, and they don't agree. And sometimes, even though both of them know exactly what that person does, and it may not be a good thing, they'll defend them. We all have people in our lives that we defend no matter what. Shout out to all of my peoples out there. All of my peoples out there who have grown up with a parent, a guardian, or someone that they really, really love, but they was on drugs. And so even though they may have been your hero, even though they may have been your first teacher, even though they may have been the person that taught you the game, put you up on game, even though they may have been the person that was always there for you, they had a drug problem. You knew it, they knew it. And even though things started to slow down when they started to really get into their addiction, to you, you always remembered the good that they had inside of them because you were there, live in the flesh, when you were receiving the gifts that you needed so badly. And they gave them to you. So they always were a part of your heart. So to you, to them, to you, they will always be the man. To you, they will always be a hero. To you, they will always be that superstar. But to everybody else, they was just somebody with a drug problem. To everybody else, they was a crackhead. To everybody else, they was a dope fiend. To everybody else, they was out there selling their body. To everybody else, they was stealing TVs, VCRs, jewelry, and acting a fool. To everybody else, they were wasted potential. To everybody else, they will never be clean. Even if they get clean, they won't stay clean. They will backslide. They will moonwalk right back to their original position of chaos, of stress, of ne'er-do-wellism. I know ne'er-do-wellism is not a word, but we're gonna shuffle the cards of vocabulary tonight and make our own thing. But yeah, so to you, he's the man, or she's the woman, or she the man. But to them, they ain't none of that. They ain't none of that. So do y'all understand what we're talking about tonight? Do you understand what we're talking about? G. All right. So, okay. Says, hey, good night. Okay, good. Hey, iTunes 10 business account. What up, business account? Come dumpster. No. Watch your mouth, sir. Or bitch, watch your fucking mouth. Watch your mouth, doggy. You know, if you think you've come to the place where nobody will clap back, you've come to the wrong place. I know you don't have a profile picture or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I will slice you up like a straight razor, and I will slice you up with like a straight razor, and then shave my head and shape up my beard with it. Yes, you have not come to the pussy center. Well, I will fuck you up. But anyway, so what do y'all know? Now we can talk about celebrities. We can talk about people that we all may be familiar with. I mean, somebody who fits this bill is somebody like Donald Trump. To one person, to the MAGA nuts, he's the man. He's the greatest thing, best president ever. But to people who are not MAGA, who are not Republicans, and who don't appreciate a lot of the things that he does, he is totally terrible. Now, what we're not going to do is, this is not going to be a political show. I'm not going to spend the whole night talking about Donald Trump or Elon Musk or any of those, but we can talk about it. We can talk about it. And as y'all see, for those of y'all who haven't been here before, this is a totally interactive show, complete with a call-in number. You can call into the show and you can express yourself. You can get it right off of your chest. And I don't get you off of the phone. I don't rush you off of the phone. This is not like, you're not just going to get like, a few seconds or 2 minutes to speak your piece or make your point and then be out. You'll actually get a chance to have a conversation. That's how that goes. So if you want to call into the show, the number to call is area code 267-874-1949. That's the number to call. I said 267-874-1949. Yes, y'all. I said 267-874-1949. Yeah, get on the line. I said 267-874-1949. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 267-874-1949, baby. Call 267-874-9. I'm sorry. 267-874-1949. And I'll get you right on up in here. And there is no censorship on this show. Now, as you know, in the chat room, this is the YouTube platform. Yes, there are community standards that you have to abide by while you're in the chat. But when you call on that phone, you can say whatever you want. I'm not even asking you to be respectful. I'm just asking you to be impactful. Be truthful. Speak yours. You know what I mean? Get it off your chest. You want to laugh, you want to cry, you want to holler, you can do it right here. It won't cost you $1. You want to yell, you want to scream, you want to get off your chest by any and all means. You want to cuss, you want to curse, you want to swear. Well, you can do it where? Right here. Yeah, my man Troy Diesel is in the house. We're doing on my man Troy Diesel. That only guy. Oh, I'm sorry. That one guy, 82. What up? Are you a Kamala Harris supporter? The election was last year, my dude. If you're asking me, did I vote for Kamala Harris? Hell the fuck yeah. Would I ever vote for Trump? Hell the fuck no. And did I wish that the bullet actually, when that fake ass assassination attempt, did I wish that that it was a real one? Yes. Do I like him? No. In any way? Fuck no. But, but this world is big enough for everybody to live in, except for him, because he's fucking up the world. But, that's another story for another day and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, a whole lot of people are wishing that they had voted for Kamala Harris. At least she had a plan. At least she actually wanted to put some money in your pocket instead of a motherfucker saying that he wanted to put money in your pocket. And he doing nothing but taking the money out of your pocket, lying to you, talking about food prices are down, gas is down, inflation is down. And you probably just went to the grocery store the other day or filled up your tank and was like, what does he mean by down? That motherfucker will stand right in front of a camera and be like, and say that shit. And y'all want to say, oh, he don't be lying. He tells the truth. That's why we like him, because he's authentic. Flavor Flav was authentic. Fuck out of here. Eat a dick. But anyway. So check it out. You know how it is when you have somebody in your life that can basically do no wrong. In your eyes, you might have, hold on. 10D, why do you keep writing iTunes 10? What are you doing? Listen, man, I don't like to block people or get people out of here, but I'm not going to put up with spamming, man. So if you don't have anything you don't even have to write anything constructive in the chat, but you do have to be conversational. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What is iTunes 10? Are you advertising something? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, sir? I'm trying to show grace. You know what I mean? I'm like Casper the friendly nigga here. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to, yeah. I'm trying to be aight over here. But anyway, you know how there may be somebody in your life that you look at through rose-colored glasses. Even though you know they ain't all the way right. Sometimes it could be, you know, most people don't like anybody to talk about their mom. I'm real funny about anybody saying anything negative about my mom. I don't care if it's true. Like, it's a sensitive subject for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like me and my mom haven't had fallouts. It's not like me and her haven't had disagreements. It's not like I've never been mad at her. But the thing is, I know that's always going to be a situation that gets repaired. It's never going to play out for no long time. You know what I mean? You know, people can disagree about certain things. And sometimes the disagreement may go a little further and get out of hand. But when you know that the love and caring that you have for somebody is always going to bring you back into the fold, you know what I mean? You represent that. So sometimes you got to watch how sometimes in your anger, you got to watch how you talk about somebody else. Or should I say, you have to watch how you talk about somebody to somebody else, because you may be giving them the green light to talk shit about somebody that you don't want shit talked about. That's kind of what the poll was about. You see the poll question asks, who is the person who you won't allow anyone to talk bad about no matter what they do? I think everybody has that one person. Like, nah, man, don't disrespect. Like, I will rearrange your dental work if you talk about my kids. I will pull your face through your ears if you talk about my mom. Listen, dog. Yeah, listen. I will shoestring hog tie your fucking tongue to your fucking balls if you talk about my wife. Everybody has that person. You know what I mean? And hey, respect is due. One thing about me is I don't like to talk about people's moms. I'll let them talk about them or they dads. I'll let them. I'm a good listener. I will turn my ear. Like, go ahead, man, get your shit off. But I'm not gonna take the liberty of talking about your mom, your dad, your kids. Your kids might be. Let me hit the pause button on kids, because sometimes you gotta say something about the kids, because they may be doing something to you and you got the right to. But anyway. But when it comes to people's spouses, when it comes to people's parents, You know what I mean? When it comes to, even just if it's just your woman or your man or whatever, it ain't up to me. It ain't up to me to step out of bounds and tell you about who you swap bodily fluids with or who you procreate with. That's not my lane. You understand what I mean? So I watch my mouth when it comes to that, because sometimes what you export, you import. You understand what I mean? Sometimes what you export, you import. And you might not want to import that shit. This ain't good wine. This ain't good wine. What up, Eric Foreman? What up? That one guy says Kamala was of Indian descent, claimed to be black, and came out with an accent for it. I don't know where the fuck you got that shit from. No, I'm sorry. I actually do know where you got that from. So if Kamala was so Indian, why was she a member of the Alpha Kappa, AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority? That's a black sorority, all black, established in the early 1900s. How did an Indian join a black fraternity? And why would an Indian want to do that? Because, black Greek fraternities, that's for life. The white fraternities, that's only something you do while you in college. Once you graduate, they be like, yeah, I used to be a member of that fraternity. But the black fraternities, that's your gang for life. You network with and do community service with and for that organization for the rest of your life. So why would an Indian want to be in a black sorority? What's it doing for her? And what you mean she learned how to talk black? Come on, my dude. What? You know what I think is funny? A white man is telling black people who is really black and who's not. That's what pisses me off about black people. We hate ourselves so fucking much, and we want the validation of the white man so bad. So bad. We want that, hey, good boy, and that pat on the back. We want that shit so bad, that validation from massa so bad that we will let him talk about our mom, talk about our dad, talk about our children, talk about our friends, talk about our schools, our churches, our institutions. We will. Just so we can be that token, that good one that we think is going to get all the prizes. Like, if I'm the only black person, I'm going to get everything. And I'll represent for all of the other black people. The fuck out of here. You disgust me. You disgust me. You disgust me. She's biracial. What race is Indian? What the fuck is biracial? Ever since that term came out, I was like, what is that? What is biracial? Back in the day, we used to just call it mixed. You mixed. And you can mix things with a lot of different things. You can mix light black, dark black, semi-black, almost black, damn near black, blue black, white black. You see, she's not been a beacon for our people professionally or politically. And who has? Please, can you throw out some names of those beacons, those black beacons for our race? I'm interested to know that, because if they are in politics, none of them have been a beacon for our race, because you can't. If you want to get elected, you have to please the electorate. See, here's the thing. And I should have known I was going to get, roped into this thing. Here's the thing. Politics is about money. If y'all don't see that by now, you see all of these government jobs being cut, all of these departments being cut, all of these cost savings, this, fraud, waste, and abuse, which nobody has been named or charged or prosecuted. You found fraud. How can you ignore fraud? Okay, let me stay focused. Okay, so politics is about money. So when you talk about money, you're not talking about black people. So how do you think you're going to help black people through politics? Now, sure, you can develop some programs that are geared towards black people, but the only party who has ever done anything remotely close to that has been the Democratic Party. And now all of these black Republicans are telling you that the Democratic Party has been fooling and hoodwinking the black community for all of these years. And I'm like, so name one thing that the Republican Party has done for you, exclusive, since y'all want to talk that exclusive shit. Name one thing, just one. Because you're going to have a hard time doing it because Republicans don't develop, conservatives don't develop policies for people. They are geared towards the person, not the people. Small government. They don't want, they're not supposed to have the government in your business. How's that been working out since Trump been in office? Has it been small government? Have they been out of your business? Oh, you don't vote? Then what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't vote, why are you even... This is going to be a long night. You said Shirley Chisholm? Okay. I respect Shirley Chisholm. But did Shirley Chisholm get elected to the presidency? I respect her run. But did she get elected? Hold on. Who else did you... Maxine Waters? A lot of people would say Maxine Waters is a slave to the white man. I wouldn't say it, but Auntie Maxine is looked upon by a lot of people as a grifter. Somebody who's getting money behind the scenes. Like Nancy Pelosi. Harold Washington. I loved Harold Washington. But a beacon? Come on, man. He was the mayor of Chicago. So ask his constituents in Chicago, was he a beacon for black people in Chicago? You can't do it through politics. You cannot develop exclusive programs for black people through politics. You can't do it. You will not get elected. Chicago is not majority. The majority population in Chicago is not black. So how did Harold Washington get elected? Who did he have to appeal to? Who did he have to appeal to? And you can take any black mayor you want and do the same exercise. I'll do the Philly example, starting from Mayor Wilson Good to who was next? John Street to Mayor Nutter to now. Goddamn well this Sherelle Parker. She black. She even talk black. But her policies are her policies are Republican. Stop and frisk, sicking the cops on people, the parking authority. She ain't, but she know the deal. She know the deal. You can't get nowhere in politics appealing to black people. You want a freedom fighter? I'm sorry. If you want black liberation, go get a freedom fighter. You don't go get somebody in politics. Go get the Black Panthers. Go get the Nation of Islam. Go get Black Men United. Go get Stokely Carmichael. We be shopping at the wrong stores for certain products. Garvey, there you go. Yeah. What's more liberating than the Back to Africa movement? I ain't with none of that shit. I ain't going back to Africa. I'm from America. I'm going back to, I'm going to find my freedom right here. We built this motherfucker. I'll be goddamn if my ancestors put in all that work. and I'm going to Africa. So the Africans can tell me I'm not African. Should we telling black people telling Kamala Harris she ain't black, and you think I'm gonna go to Africa and be called African? My face structure, my complexion just ain't cutting it. Do they have Africans my complexion? Yes. My facial structure, not exactly. You know, Africans have an African look, and you can tell the difference between an American black person and an African. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Let's get on track. Let's talk about it, be about it, get involved. These puzzle pieces right now we gonna solve, baby. He says, I agree with you, just addressing the statement about Harris. Well, you know, I mean, we can agree separately about Kamala Harris. I'm not gonna front. Before she was thrusted into the candidacy for president, I wasn't feeling Kamala Harris. I'm not a fan, but I do like what she was representing and her ideas that she talked about on the campaign trail. And in retrospect, even though a lot of people don't want to eat crow, she told the truth. She told the fucking truth. She said everything that Donald Trump was going to do. And guess what? He's doing everything in the negative sense that she warned against. The Project 25 shit, the way he is handling the Ukraine Russian conflict, the whole inflation thing with the everything she said is coming to fruition. Like I told y'all motherfuckers, we know this boy. But you know, Trump supporters will not admit that Trump is fucked up. But when you go to that goddamn grocery store, I bet you have to look his mistakes in the eye. You got to look his mistakes right in the face. And it ain't just eggs. Shit. I went to the grocery store today. And last Sunday or Saturday. And I was like, man, I'm not spending no more money on food. This is ridiculous. I'm spending a lot and getting very little. Dr. Bolton. Oh, okay. Hold on, yo. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, y'all, we talking. It's all good. Listen, I talk passionately, but I'm not trying to scare you off or whatever. I just get my point across. But that's why I invite people to call in, because you can get your shit off just like I do. This just happens to be my platform, and I'm the only one with a mic and a camera. That's the only difference. You call into the show, you get a microphone. And trust me, I'll let you rock. I'm not here to block ideas of any kind. You know what I mean? You say what you want to say. I'm going to, you know, if I disagree with it, I'm going to debate it, but I'm not going to invalidate your feelings or your thoughts or whatever. But anyway, you ain't got to call in. You can call in if you want to. But we're talking about, to you, he's the man. To me, he's a bum. How many situations have you ever been in like that? How many situations have you ever been in where you see somebody really admire somebody that really ain't shit? And they really, really admire them. They really, really are feeling them. You know, the way that a person is impacted by others, you can't really account for that. There's no accounting for how somebody will be affected by somebody that they love and admire. and respect. Dr. Bolton says, I don't vote. We had the vote 150 years and nothing to show for it. Read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Yeah, here's the thing about the autobiography of Malcolm X, and I've read it. I've read it several times. First time I ever read it was when I was 17 years old. Changed my whole life around. But here's some things about Malcolm that people have to understand. First of all, I'll address the book. A lot of people think that the book was Malcolm's words exactly. The autobiography of Malcolm X was taken from some transcripts that Alex Haley wrote. So when you read the autobiography of Malcolm X, you are not getting the words of Malcolm X straight from Malcolm X's mouth. And that's important to remember, because when you're talking about a book that was written by another who has been proven to have plagiarized, for what it's worth, I'm not trying to speak down on the man, but facts are facts. Alex Haley plagiarized the Roots. He plagiarized Roots. He did a hell of a job plagiarizing it, but he plagiarized it, and it was proven. So we know that Alex Haley will take shorts. He will take shortcuts, and he may take credit for things that he didn't do. And I'm just saying his credibility was definitely on the line. So that's one thing about Malcolm X. The other thing is Malcolm X was in a transition in his life. So he went from a gangster type, thug on the street hustler, pimp, drug addict, to captain minister in the Nation of Islam, the national minister for defense for the Nation of Islam.
You have a call.
To becoming a Sunni Muslim, which he was starting to relinquish a lot of his white man is the devil type of teachings. He was starting to let go a lot of his Nation of Islam teachings, because he was learning about he was now reading the real Quran instead of the Nation of Islam Quran. And so his truth was starting to really, really evolve and change. And that was one of the reasons why he had to go. The other thing is, the thing about his evolution is we don't know what Malcolm X would have become. We don't know exactly where he was going, but we do know that Malcolm X died broke. And at the time that he was alive, he was not as popular as people would have you believe. He was widely unknown. I'm not saying that he was like I would say he was more like a John Legend. You know how the singer John Legend, you may know who John Legend is. A lot of us may know who John Legend is. But is John Legend like a household name in every house, like a Michael Jackson? No. Martin Luther King was way more well-known and popular than Malcolm X. Partly because Malcolm X, his message tailored to the Nation of Islam, really turned the white man off. It turned the FBI on, but it turned the white man off. So you said, oh my God, that's wrong. You said he built the nation from yes, he did. But if you ask, at the time that Malcolm was alive, if you asked most black people if they knew who Malcolm X was, they didn't. You can't change that. History has done a lot for Malcolm X. A lot. And yes, he made millions, I guess, for the Nation of Islam. it didn't translate to millions for him. He died broke. Remember, they firebombed his house. They owned the car that he drove. What are you talking? Come on, man. Come on. Don't fuck with me when it comes to history. We're not doing that. We're not doing. Anyway, the other thing is that, like I said, we don't know where Malcolm was going. We don't know where he was going. But you know, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Because I'm not saying that Malcolm X was a bum. I'm saying that he died broke. He was more like a poor righteous teacher. He wasn't greedy. He was a fundraiser. And he raised a lot of money for the Nation of Islam. But they didn't give him none. They owned everything he had. Even the suits that he wore. You know, no different than like a priest, a Catholic priest. They don't own shit. They don't get to own nothing. The church owns everything. That's why priests can't, that's why they had to take an oath of celibacy. Priests used to be able to get married. They used to be able to get married before the 11th century until they started dying and leaving their estate to their wives and children. And the church said, that's our money. That's our money. You can't be leaving our money to your family. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make sure you don't have no family to leave it to. No more fucking for you. Had nothing to do with morality. Had everything to do with money. See, when you really start getting into to history, my people, yeah, it starts getting ugly. And that money thing starts popping up again. Starts popping everywhere you go. You follow the money, you start finding the truth. You follow the money, you start finding the truth. The other thing about Malcolm X is that he had a family history of mental illness. There's nothing you can do to dispute that. And I'm not so sure that he didn't have a little bit of it himself. He definitely was paranoid for good reason, but you don't know how far that would have gone. Buana Haguski says, everyone knows that cult money goes to the leader. So, you know, these are things that you have to take into consideration when you're talking about a Malcolm X or when you're talking about any leader. You know what I mean? Nobody is immune or exempt from scrutiny. Nobody. And once again, I'm not speaking on these things to sour or disregard the legacy of Malcolm X or the impact of Malcolm X. But trust and believe his impact came more later in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, in the 60s. Malcolm X was widely unknown. That's just a fact. I'm not saying that nobody knew him, but he wasn't a Martin Luther King. And even if you think about it, even with Martin Luther King, you take the average black person and you ask them, did y'all march in the civil? Did y'all go to the March on Washington? Did you ever fight with Dr. King? Most of the families will tell you, nah, I mean, we heard of it, but we ain't do that. That was, that was people down south going through that. We had already moved up north. I'm trying to tell you. Everybody wasn't down. But, let some people tell you, you would think all black people was talking about we shall overcome. You had your Oreos, your buck dancers and the Yassa bosses back then, just like now. It was worse back then. Nah, maybe it's worse now because we in the information age. You ain't got no reason to be like that. Okay. You said you think Malcolm had OCD. I think he had. That sounds reasonable. That sounds reasonable. Mango Soul, can I ask a question? Well, that's one question down. You ask it again, that's two questions down. Why do blacks, whites, and Asians fight when deep down God is the only one who will judge us? Well, have you ever seen God? And have you ever talked to God? What proof do you have that God judges us? And I'm not saying that he doesn't. But just like man says, I fear no one but God. I fear no man but God. And they be lying. Because you seen them run from a man before. You seen them duck from a man before. You've seen them avoid a man before. We live here on this earth. So we know that God forgives. But we know that man doesn't always forgive. So because we are here and because we are in the here and now, you said, yes, I'm staring at him. Who are you staring at? You staring at God? You said, you're here, aren't you? I don't know. Finesse. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Malcolm X moved to Chicago to start protests. I mean, he didn't uproot his family to do it. I mean, you know. Buana says, just like Garvey, he is widely unknown. That's a damn shame. Same black people who know Thomas Jefferson is, but you have to understand, they didn't have the internet. They weren't in newspapers. They weren't a big news story. They weren't going to report that kind of stuff. So it stands to reason that they weren't widely known. You know, I mean, they didn't have a way to really promote. Dr. King wouldn't have been as widely known as he had become had the movement and Jim Crow and segregation been as bad as it was, and had it not got as violent as it had gotten, that shit may have still existed today. Real shit. Real shit. Because there were way more incidents that should have sparked off the whole civil rights movement more than Rosa Parks refusing to sit at the back of the bus. I mean, we was getting our heads fucking bashed in. And getting lynched and all of that shit. But anyway. Trezoy.
What's going on, good brother?
My dude, how you feeling?
Hey, man, blessed by the best, ain't taking no mess, trying to get rid of this stress off my chest.
Man, I hear that, man. I appreciate the rhyme scheme.
Hey, well, I learned from the best. Mr. Bars.
Mr. Bars? All right, I'm going to take that tonight.
You know what I mean? But,
hold on, let me thank Dr. Darnell Bolton for coming through. I appreciate it. Thanks for the exchange, my dude. Appreciate it mucho. I hope to see you come through here again. Have a good night. Be safe. Go ahead, Stroy.
Well, you know, I just want to elaborate on a few things and then get back on topic because I know you like to stay on topic. And let me just speak on first Malcolm. He was broke, but he wasn't broke to the part of being poor. He was broke as middle class broke. He wasn't on the same level of Elijah Muhammad because, just like you said, majority of stuff was Elijah Muhammad, and Elijah Muhammad was not breaking bread with Malcolm, considering the fact that Malcolm was the one that put the nation on a pedestal and put it on a national level. Malcolm was, to me, and this is just my opinion, Malcolm was world renowned. Got to remember, he went and spoke at Oxford College. Mm-hmm. He was world renowned even when he went to Mecca. He was followed by the government and he was followed by news stations when he went to Mecca. He was on every newspaper damn near and on every news show. So he was somewhat on the same level of Martin, but Martin had a following of the people, not just our people, but of the people, meaning he had the following of also Caucasians, which put Martin on a different level than Malcolm. Malcolm was more pro Afrocentric and Afro-American, and therefore he wasn't on the same level as Martin. Like we both know, Martin was against, not violent. He was not violent, and Malcolm was, by any means necessary. And with Martin being the way he was, what really sparked, what really what really lit the flame of the civil rights movement it wasn't even so much as Rosa Parks. It was Emmett Till. The death of Emmett Till is what really, and his mother allowed his body to be seen at the church during his funeral, is what put that extra flame, that took that flame from blue to orange and started boiling the water of the civil rights movement. So, with that being said, a lot of things you were saying is correct, but my opinion is that when it comes to even Martin, we sit back and we talk about him. Martin was not rich neither, but he wasn't our broke. I'm talking about broke I'm talking about poor broke. He wasn't broke. Who
wasn't?
Martin.
Martin wasn't broke at all.
No, right. He wasn't broke at all, but he wasn't rich.
He was close to it. Martin was very well off.
Yeah, he was well off, but we wouldn't put him in the same class of a millionaire.
Well, you got to think how the economy was back then. You know what I mean? Like making $1 million.
Then again, I gotta reassess my thoughts, because you're absolutely correct. Because maybe in that time he might have been considered a millionaire. Even if he was in 6 digits, you might have been considered a millionaire back then.
If you was in 5 digits, let me tell you,
5 digits might even been. Yeah, we can even say that.
Look. Let me tell you something. And a Cadillac, a $14,000 Cadillac in 1977 was equivalent to 65 grand in today's economy. So you got to think that was 77. Take it all the way back to 67. Take it all the way back to 57. If you had a 5-figure salary in the 50s and 60s, you was doing hella good. To be a millionaire, and when you think about the Andrew Carnegies, the J.P. Morgans, the Rockefellers, they had billions. Do you know what the wealth gap was between them and anybody? We look at Elon Musk, and what's he worth? 350 billion, some old crazy shit like that.
Right.
He's nowhere near as rich as an Andrew Carnegie was with 1 billion. Back then. We will never see wealth that separated from the pack again. We will never in life see that again. He had enough to buy countries, big ones. We will never see. Shit was costing pennies, dog.
Well,
how do you get $1 billion?
Well, if you sit back and you think about it right now, if they were able to buy countries, Elon Musk was able to buy an election.
An election is easy to buy.
No, listen. So that is our day. That is back in that day. But this day, if he's able to buy an election, that makes it even worse. Because at that time they was doing stupid shit, but this makes it even worse.
Well, it's like they built their fortunes. Their fortunes just was so far from anybody. Like Rockefeller used to come outside of Rockefeller Center with a handful of dimes, and he used to just throw them up in the air and let the kids. Do you know how much a dime was worth? That was like $100. Real shit. That was like $100 to them cats. in the like 19 teens, 1920s, a dime? Shit. The shit that you could get before a dime was ridiculous. We will never see a wealth gap like that again.
Oh no, we certainly. I mean, we grew up around the same time in the '70s. I mean, the shit you can give it a quarter.
Yeah,
We grew up in them times.
Mm-hmm. Well, a pack of bubble gum was a quarter.
I 1,000% agree with you. I had to reassess my thoughts because you awakened something in my mind to make me think about that. Yeah, you absolutely correct. But at the end of the day, we sit back, and I guess this is certain things that we sit back and we say we won't allow nobody to talk about certain people. I wouldn't let nobody talk bad about Martin or Malcolm. I'm not talking about you per se because we just having a discussion about them, but I'm talking about people outside of the knowledge or the wisdom of what they don't know. We can debate it, but to sit back and just blatantly disrespect them, no, I wouldn't allow that. I wouldn't allow that at all. Not Meghan, not Harriet, not none of them. Especially, you know how I feel about the N-word. So I mean, all those certain situations. I mean, I wouldn't let nobody talk about our ancestors like that. Just like Dr. Baldwin when he was talking everything about Kamala. You can't talk about Kamala if you didn't even vote. You know what I mean? You cannot talk about Kamala if you didn't even vote.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name? How do you say their name? Shukala, Shala, whatever his name is?
Seka Sala?
Yeah, you worrying about my voice. Worry about the discussion. Call in. Call in, Mr. Intelligent. Well, you worrying about my damn voice. Pause my voice. How old are you? How old are you? I woke up from my sleep to have an intelligent conversation on a live stream, talking on the phone. You never call in. Call in, Shala, whatever your damn name is.
Nah, he cool, man. He cool.
I know he is, but call in. Call in. You know what I mean? I know he's cool, but look.
All right, but let me ask you this. All right, so not allowing somebody to talk bad about somebody is one thing, but it doesn't mean that the truth can't be told.
No,
Like, as much as I like Martin Luther King, Martin had a thing for white women. Not just that. He couldn't stay out of no pussy.
Right.
I mean, some people don't like for that fact to come out. But how can you?
It's not the fact that I don't like certain things to come out of a person. I'm gonna just give you a prime example. I wouldn't have never known nothing about Martin. That situation about Martin, if it wasn't from Ralph Abernathy. Ralph Abernathy awakened that. That's what other than the CIA and everything, bringing it to the forefront. Ralph Abernathy, after Martin Luther King died, right, brought that to the forefront. I don't have a problem with people doing that, but when a person's not here to defend themselves, that's the problem I have. It's like me talking about Son, and Son, I'm never want to speak with you in the afterlife, but I'm speaking. Son locked up, right? Son locked up, so he can't speak about. If I'm sitting here talking negative about him, he can't sit back and come back and say and rebut what I'm saying about him. No, you can't do that. That's not. You can't do that. That's not. I don't think anybody should do that. You know what I mean? And even with the situation with Martin and him liking white women and this, that, and other, it puts a tarnish on his name because he's not even here to defend himself. And I think that what that does is it attracts the people when the CIA and the FBI and all these people was trying to do that. They was trying their best to take away from what he was really trying to do.
But they
We
didn't
all have
put
weaknesses.
but they didn't put it out. They didn't put it. They threatened to put it out, but they didn't.
Well, then you know who put it out then? Rob Abernathy.
Okay, but
He was on 60. They did an interview on, I think it was either 60 Minutes or some documentary where he blatantly said all that.
okay.
Just like, I was just looking at a special on YouTube, and they was talking about how Martin Luther King didn't die on that balcony.
Yeah.
They said that he was smothered by the CIA at the hospital. They said that he was killed at the hospital.
Okay.
So I mean, these are the things that, you know, we sit back. You know, I mean, back in them days and the shit that they had to go through. That's what pisses me off about today's people, even our generation. When you sit back, I ain't vote. But then you sit up here and you say you ain't vote, but then you want to sit back and talk about what they went through back in the day. The shit they went through, majority of the shit that they went through back in the day, civil rights and the Voters Registration Act was for us. The majority of it is why they died for that.
Okay.
So I mean, when you sit back and you talk that type of shit, you don't sit back and then say, "Well, I ain't voting." You know.
Okay.
Part of the
all right.
I'm gonna be part of the solution.
All right. Hold on. Let's do this.
And I yield.
Okay. No. Hold on. Let's do this. So so your position is that if a person is not here to defend themselves, you shouldn't say anything negative about them.
Well, if a person is not here to defend themselves, and a person knows that, I'm talking about if like me and you tight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say nothing negative about you. If you're not here, I'm gonna talk to you about it. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna put it out there and let other people have to judge you. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I'm doing that, then I'm giving, and you're not here to defend yourself, then I'm wrong for that shit. Then you have a problem with me. You have every right to have a problem with me. You have every right to have a problem with me. Because number one, I didn't bring this to you first. I didn't have a conversation with you first.
Okay. But
you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing about it. I'm not that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna give you a prime example, son, and I don't want to get off subject. My grandfather died and passed away back in 1984, and this man was a god to me, and I loved him to death. I understood the behind whippers. I understood the teachings that he gave me. He was my Malcolm X and my Martin.
okay.
So when my aunt, his daughter, who didn't have a great relationship with him, was telling me negative things about him, I had to say that. I said, why would you sit back and try to tarnish his memory and the way I feel about him because of the relationship y'all had as father and daughter? You don't do that. He's not here to defend himself. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to look at him any differently because that's not the relationship I had with him. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that I love him more because that was my grandfather, and your brother, who was my father, didn't give two shits about me. So don't sit back and try to tarnish his memory because of your relationship y'all had. He's not here to defend himself. Martin's not here to defend himself. Malcolm's not here to defend himself. You know, so I just don't think that speaking lowly of our heroes, our African American heroes, will be in a light where as though I can't speak on something that I don't have knowledge about. I only get the knowledge that I got is from the speakings of people who were close to him. And if you're speaking on that shit, why would you do that? Why would you to bring that type of information out about Martin to put more light on yourself? Because if that's the case, you should have been brought that up.
Okay. Here's the thing. here's the thing. And by the way, you are on topic, because what I was going to ask you is this. So if a person is not here to defend themselves and people are talking negatively about them, you can feel some kind of way about it. But what if it was in reverse? What if somebody that we knew was like a serial killer or a rapist, or a sex offender or something like that? What if you heard somebody talking all of this good shit about them that went against all of the negative shit that we know, that might even be documented?
Well, now we on a whole different conversation now.
No, we're actually not.
Well, I can understand that, but the thing about it is we actually are.
We actually are what?
Them kinds. So what you, all right, let's just put a scenario together. So if Jeffrey Dahmer paid tithes, was giving money back to the community, gave money to build a child's playground, right? Was donating turkeys to the homeless, to families doing Thanksgiving and doing all this. Everything is negated when you realize all the heinous shit that he did.
All right, so let me get this straight. So because of the murders that he committed, all of the good stuff that he has done is nil. It's tainted. There's an asterisk next to it. It's meaningless. Nobody's going to remember the fact that he's done all that good stuff, because the heinous stuff he did, the murders that he committed, and how he did it is the focal point now. It's just like I told my son the other day. He got an argument with his girlfriend. He called her the B word. I said, I don't care how right you was, and how right you was, and the reality and the realness and the understanding that you was right at the things you was saying. Once you called her a B, that negated everything you just said. I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out how you can have it one way, but you can't have it the other way. Like, that's not mathematically. It doesn't equate with math. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So if you can,
what you telling me is that, no, well, somebody said this on my TV in the live stream. You should be able to critique your leaders, and that's absolutely true.
I mean, facts are facts.
Say that again?
Facts are facts.
Yes, that's the fact. But what I'm saying is that the people critiquing your leaders is critiquing them. But the people that put that out there was wrong to do that when they could have did that while he was there. They could have put that out there while he was alive, so he can have opportunities to defend himself. Don't wait until he dies, and you don't have an opportunity to defend himself. You waiting for you understand what I'm saying, though?
I understand what you're saying. I'm not sure if I agree with it.
No, well, it's like this. I'm not gonna sit up here. It's like me giving you your flowers. When I get on the live stream, I hang up with you. I say, yo, love you, bro. And you say, love you too, man. I'm giving you your flowers now, and I'm telling you how I feel about you, because that's me. I want to give you your flowers. Some people don't get flowers.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
but
I'm not going to wait till you go to say that.
The thing is, I can love you and know that you still are a fucked up person. I've loved many fucked up people. Hey, listen. I mean,
I agree with you.
Hold on. Now, you know I'm telling the truth. As much as you know I love my dad, do all the stories that I talk about him, are they all positive?
No, they're not. You said it.
Because it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mess up his legacy or whatever. He lived his life. He lived a life. He lived his life, and he did it the way he wanted to do it. Did it please everybody all the time? No. So how can he please everybody in his passing when he couldn't please or seek to please everybody when he was here?
Right. Let me ask you this. Right. if you had a problem with your dad, or if there was a disagreement with your dad, you told your dad about it while he was here. You didn't wait until he passed away and put that out on a live stream, or went to your mom or went around a family talking disgruntled and disrespecting him. You told him about that while he was here.
I didn't put my, hold on. What I didn't do was put my dad in a position to be in trouble while he was alive. When he's dead, he can't get in trouble.
What I'm saying, son, what I'm saying to you is that if you had a problem with him, or there was something that was something major, or it was something that you felt some type of way about that could have messed up your relationship, you brought it to the forefront. Like,
yeah, I did. If I had a problem with him, yeah, I came to him with the problem. But that doesn't. I didn't go to him for all of the problems that I had with him. Some of this shit wasn't. It was overstepping my bounds. It wasn't none of my fucking business. I can't.
Right.
Okay.
So,
for example, hold on. For example, like some of the women that my dad messed around with, I didn't approve of it. Now sometimes I spoke on it, but once I spoke on it, that's it. I'm not gonna keep beating the dead horse. I mean, he doing what the fuck he want to do. They are consenting adults. Just because I don't approve of it, that doesn't give me the right to try to navigate somebody else's life. I won't let nobody do it to me. But what happened. What happened. Now, the reason that I say that this is still all in line with the topic is because you can be a lot of different things to different people, and they might all be right and they might all be wrong at the same damn time. So when I say your son need to get up off his ass, he lazy as shit, and it's your fault because you ain't make him do shit coming up, I might be right. You might punch me in the mouth for it, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't true. It just meant that I may not have had the right to say it. It shouldn't have come from me. But the truth remains that I think that your son is a bum. Yeah, to me, he's a bum. To you, he's your young hero. He's the younger version of yourself. Hey, we are in disagreement of character. That's okay. Same thing with a Malcolm X, same thing with a Martin Luther King, same thing with a Donald Trump, same thing with a Tupac, a Biggie, or a lot of people who are dead and alive. We're not always going to be in agreement about certain facts or the way that certain things come out. But it either happened or it didn't.
And I can respect that. But the way you just said, I don't approve of how certain things came out.
Okay.
That's the part I'm talking about.
Okay.
How certain things came out, I don't think is right. But we are allowed to critique individuals or look at people, through a microscope, and especially if you're in the public eye. We are allowed to do that.
Yeah, man, but most motherfuckers in the public eye got some crazy shit with them, dog. I'm sorry. It's consistent as hell. It's consistent as hell. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
We both agree on that. Mm-hmm. We both agree on that.
Okay.
Like for instance, I don't really particularly like when people talk that shit about Bill Cosby. I know he might have done some of this shit.
The
thing that pisses me off the most is that when you sit back and you look at those damn times, I'm always going to be my philosophy on that situation. Fuck the NBC shit when he was talking about buying that, and people think that that's the reason behind it. But we got to go back to the times that the time when people said this happened. People was talking about the 70s and parts of the 60s. So, like I said to you before, and I will say this 100 times to 1,000 times till I'm blue in the face, right? Regardless of, they saying Bill Cosby is the one that bought the sound system for Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. if any of these women, particularly specifically white women, because there were white women that was involved with some of this shit. If any of these white women went to the authorities and said that black man touched me, drugged me, and raped me, they would have locked him the fuck up. Because even during that time, he was still a nigga. Even during that time, he was still a nigga. He was just a nigga with money. Just like Jay-Z said in the story of OJ. Still nigga. Okay. And that's the problem I had with him. Because, see, back in them days, Quaaludes back in that day, Quaaludes was the Percocet of that day. You know what I mean? Was the syrup of that day.
I mean, so you had Percocet and Quaaludes back. And syrup back then. But here's the thing. Here, check this out, Troy. Check this out. All right. I don't look for perfection in man.
Or woman.
Or when I say man, that covers both.
Okay.
So, in the Bible, they always say man. So anyway, I don't look for perfection. Well, I don't look for perfection. I look for percentages. So if you have a greater percentage of good, for me, you're good. If you have a greater percentage of bad, then you're bad. But I'm not going to ignore all of the negative or all of the bad just because you have a higher percentage of good, because those percentages can easily flip flop at any time, and for some people from different experiences and perspectives, they probably do flip flop from time to time. Now with Bill Cosby, one thing that I have against celebrities and all of them, when they are climbing the ladder of success and they're promoting themselves, they quick to get in front of a camera. They quick to grab a microphone. You know what I mean? They promote themselves and they want to be. They invite all of that press and all of that attention and all of that advertising. But as soon as they get in trouble, then it's, please respect my family's privacy, and I'm only human and all of that. Well, motherfucker, you was human, and your family had privacy when you was on your way up. Mm-hmm. So you wasn't shying away from no microphone or wearing shades and covering your head and all of that shit when you was getting money. But now somebody's about to fuck up your money because of some shit that you've done. Oh, now it's all about your privacy. Now it's all about your humanity. Now it's all about grace and all of that. So which one is it going to be? You can't have it both ways. Bill Cosby wore that label of America's dad.
Yes, he did.
For years. He could have said, now hold on here, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, I see what y'all saying and all that, but I'm hot. I mean, what makes me America's dad and not the bull from fuck, what was the show that had the opening score? What will we do, baby? Family Ties. What? He was a good dad. Why ain't he America's dad? Why not Tom Bosley from Happy Days? Why wasn't he America's dad? You know what I'm saying? George Jefferson was a pretty good father. Why wasn't he America's dad?
Come on now, you know they wasn't gonna make
Mike Brady. Why couldn't he be? My point is, he wore that America's dad shit, knowing that he had mad bones in the closet. He knew. You know what I mean? He didn't have to be here. He already had the money. He didn't have to be America's dad. He took that title. Just like Michael Jackson, the King of Pop. He could have been like, I ain't no King of Pop. Come on, y'all chill. You know what I mean? I'm just making music and performing and doing what I do. He could have said that. He said, nah, King of Pop, yeah. King, I like that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when the allegations come through, when the weirdo shit start getting exposed, well, hold on, you know, why would you even ask about? I heard Michael Jackson say in an interview before, like, if you see a Picasso painting, why won't you just appreciate the painting of Picasso? Why would you ask where what he's doing in his private life and blah, blah, blah? Motherfucker, you a public figure. Do you understand what public means? It doesn't mean that they have to know everything about you, but what you put out there is what's out there. And you ain't just out there when the camera is on and the microphones are turned up. You out there because people know you, they recognize you, and you getting money from that. So the same thing you making money at, you lose money at too. But you can't just navigate shit. More than likely, you didn't even navigate the way you was making money. Other people were helping out, helping to steer that in a certain direction as well. So how you think you gonna stop? You didn't make everybody talk. How you gonna think you gonna make everybody shut up? Nah, son. If Bill Cosby didn't wear that America's Dad thing, I don't think he would have went through a lot of that shit. But it was like,
well, you know, and plus you do also remember that he disrespected the black community at one point too when he did that. When he was speaking on Temple's campus and he was talking about black families and black fathers and black mothers.
Yeah, and but okay, I see what you're saying. I think I see what you're saying. What you're saying.
So I mean, it's the same thing with Michael. I mean, both him and Michael, you know, they do, like Michael. He didn't want nothing to do with. He didn't want really much to do with black people like that. But he instantly became black American when he started going through his charges about them kids, and
I'm not going to say that Michael Jackson didn't want anything to do with black people. It's just that Michael Jackson had a serious insecurity about his race and possibly some other personal things. He wanted to be.
I can agree with that because his pop brought forth a lot of insecurity.
Well, I mean, listen, he painted himself white. I mean, you know, that's not a normal thing to do. But that's not unlike a lot of other. I mean, you see the skin bleaching population over in Jamaica.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Do you remember Sammy Sosa?
Well, he's Dominican, so I mean they got it going on.
Yeah, but he was a dark-skinned Dominican.
He was. So the black insecurity runs deep, and it makes people do certain things. But I'm only talking about that because I don't think that people who do, just because you don't want to be black personally doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to have anything to do with black people. You know what I mean? Now, there have been plenty of people who didn't do anything to their skin or whatever, but you know that they don't want to, they don't really want anything to do with black people because you see their dealings. Somebody like a Tiger Woods, he ain't bleach his skin or whatever, but when you see Tiger Woods out there making moves, you don't see him making moves with us. Michael Jackson definitely gave black people mad opportunities to make money, build businesses and get paid. You know what I mean? So, you know, he may not have appreciated his own blackness, but I can't say that he ain't appreciate no blackness. He ain't go get no he ain't go get no white producers to produce his albums. He got Quincy Jones. He got Teddy Riley. He got other he got motherfucking Marsha Ambrosius. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying he ain't like black people. He didn't like himself. You know? So, and Michael Jackson is a good example. Like to most people, whenever I talk about Michael Jackson, people be getting mad at me. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I don't see how you can say that Michael Jackson was, yeah. And I'm like, to me, he was not the man. He wasn't, to me. But
you have an opinion. Nobody can get mad at your opinion.
But yes, they can. And they have the right to be mad at my opinion because that's their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just like mine is mine. I don't have to like your opinion. And yeah, I can question it or debate your opinion because it's an opinion. Opinions aren't always based on facts.
There's a difference between discussing an opinion and debating an opinion and getting mad at it.
Well, opinions make people mad. You know what I mean? Opinions make people mad. You know, so I get it. I'm a little thicker skinned than most people, probably because I do this. If I didn't do this, I might be a little susceptible to you know what I mean? Yeah, I might be a little more sensitive to certain things. But I'm able to walk away from conversations and feel like, well, you know, I mean, I don't like the way maybe I don't like the way he said it or she said it or the way they feel or, you know what I mean? Maybe I feel like they lost in the sauce, but hey, it don't mean that we can't come together another day because I know we agree on something.
Look into the live stream. Somebody asked you a question.
Let me see. Who was the man in your opinion, son? Rick James? You know what? Always, even though I liked Rick James as a kid, it was always hard for me to respect a man that had braids in his hair, like fake hair in his hair, or had like a perm, or like I ain't like that shit. I ain't really like that shit. You know, I mean, like Rick James looked so funny to me. I was like, why he got his hair like a girl? Mm-hmm. He'd sing like a man. He obviously liked pussy like a man. But why would you wear your hair like that, like a girl? He had fucking beads in his hair. Like, who does that? And this is late 70s, early 80s. You know what I mean? I'm jamming to the music though. You and I, we'll be together till the 6 is 9. That's right. I mean, but no.
Oh, shit, yo, so, shit.
But let me think. Who was the man to me? There were no celebrities that was the man to me. Like celebrities were very, very fallible to me. And I'm thinking, I can't say that I've always felt that way, because there are some celebrities I thought was the absolute shit when I was younger. As I got older, they started looking real human to me. But I used to really, really, and still do, like Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I've always had a thing for freedom fighters. You know what I mean? Yeah, I tell you what, I like that fucking Jasmine Crockett. I tell you that.
Yes.
I like her.
We both adore her.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I like people who are willing to put their lives, and their reputations on the line. I like that. I come from that. I'm with all of that. Mm-hmm. So, but I, you know, like I recognize, you know, I still recognize the flaws.
Let's go back in the day, like who like let's say from the 80s to now, who's the shit? Who's one of them people that you would be like, all right?
Let me see, in the 80s.
And then that you'd be like, man, don't, I mean, y'all can talk about them, but don't disrespect them.
I'm not sure if I've ever really felt that way. I really, like, I don't know if I ever felt like you can't say nothing about them. Because even there were certain things I could see. Like when Prince came out with Purple Rain, I was a big Prince fan. But I was like, this motherfucker wear heels. He is not above reproach. I'm sorry. Shit like that. You know, and some people be like, he can do that because he Prince. I'm like, hey, man, don't go there with that bullshit. I'd never talk like that.
I know they can go shopping at Forever 21. And then take your girl.
I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? You don't get a free pass. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I like his songs, but you're a weirdo. I wouldn't dress like him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so what's her name? What's the person's name? Bawana, I can't pronounce that last name. Sorry about that.
Bawana Haguski.
Yeah, he said Jasmine Crockett. I like what's her name? Omar.
Oh yeah. Eli Omar.
She's nowhere in the forefront speaking. I've heard of her. I heard her speak, but she's not in the forefront putting her voice out there like that.
Well, she kind of was. She was. She was doing it. She was doing major shit up in there.
Was. She's
Well,
not now.
no, she actually is. She's still doing a thing now. Yeah, Eli Omar. Yeah, nobody's doing it like Jazzy. You know, she on. Nobody.
Son is conservative. How about James Brown? Fuck no, James Brown.
No, I love James Brown.
I'm not a James Brown fan.
No,
Nina Turner is deep too. I like Nina Turner.
Nah, wait. Why wouldn't you like James Brown?
Well, I don't like James Brown because of his abuse of women. Not the music. His abuse of women is something that I question.
So
that's just my opinion.
Okay. How about David Ruffin?
Don't like David Ruffin because music-wise, these guys, music-wise, yes.
Okay. How about Bill Withers?
Same thing with him.
Okay.
Music-wise, yes, I love the music.
You know, all them R&B motherfuckers was slap a hoe was from the slap a hoe tribe,
well,
right?
There's a difference between slapping and beating them the fuck up.
Oh no, it ain't.
Yes, it is. You can slap somebody and be like, I'm gonna walk away. But when you
I don't think they slapped. I don't think they just slapped and walked away. I don't think they did that.
Well, hey. That's just my opinion, man.
I mean, and I don't have a problem with it.
So Troy hates every R&B singer.
I'm trying to tell you,
I dislike some of their ways. The word hate, I would never say I hate anyone. I dislike that part of who they are as people. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
That's just my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-female when it comes to abuse. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit back and, I mean, let's look at it. Tammy Terrell, it's said that Tammy Terrell is dead due to the fact that between David Ruffin and James Brown abused her.
I mean, I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. I'm just like,
It's like asking me about R. Kelly. What about R. Kelly? No, bro. Because I don't even know who he's thinking to. Seems like you already told me enough.
I like R. Kelly. Now, do I think R. Kelly is the man? No. But he's definitely the king of R&B. Ain't nobody better.
Well, you know, I mean, I got a question of King R&B because Bobby Brown.
Shit, that catalog ain't fucking with no damn R. Kelly. Who could beat R. Kelly in a versus? Who could come close?
Ain't nobody beating that boy.
Ain't nobody even getting close. That shit is a blowout.
He don't even have to be there. They can just play his music.
True. But yeah,
Sure, you go to a Bobby Brown concert. I would beat his ass.
Let me see. I'm trying to think. I know it had to be somebody who nobody couldn't say nothing about. Because there have been plenty of people that I've admired, but I'm like, can't say nothing about them.
In the 90s, and even now, nobody can say nothing bad about B.I.G. That's just me. I don't want nobody because that's my brother. Nobody can say nothing bad about KRS-One. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the video, and I'm seeing your face on the screen, and it's staring at me like, "Come the fuck."
Because I'm like, "Come on, man, Chris."
I'm just me, man.
I understand, but Chris got some shit with him. All right.
I'm telling you, you know.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of woman beater, your boy Notorious B.I.G. was well known for whooping ass.
No.
Facts.
He was well known for beating Faith. Him and Faith got into a fight.
He whooped Lil' Kim ass too. She said it out of her own mouth. He was quick with the hands. He talked about it in his songs.
Well, I'm gonna have to leave Biggie alone too. I like Biggie. Look, KRS-One was down with Van Bobby. No, don't do that, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's why when you said KRS-One, I'm like,
he was down with Bambaataa, but did he do what Bambaataa did?
well, there were a lot of rumors. There are a lot of rumors.
A lot of people that there was a lot of people down with that back in
the Zulu Nation. I think you need to listen to what I have to say about KRS-One.
And I want you to get ready to give it to me, bro.
All right. Now, a lot of people say that the reason that KRS-One defended
Troy's fan club getting smaller and smaller.
The reason that KRS-One, I've heard this on numerous podcasts. The reason that KRS-One defended Bambaataa, because he said, I don't care what Bambaataa did. He was still, Zulu Nation, blah, blah, blah. So he knew about the allegations with the sexual assault allegations with the young boy. He knew about it. And he still was like, nah, but we ain't doing that. Nah, yes, the fuck we are doing that. Shit, Bambaataa nasty. He's disgusting. He's a fucking predator, and he needs to be dealt with.
Why he not locked up?
But they said that the reason that he defended Bambaataa is because he was gay on the low, and him and Scott LaRock was more than rapper and DJ.
No.
That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying.
I don't believe that. That I don't believe.
Hey,
that part I can listen to the first part, but that one I don't believe.
Oh.
Scott LaRock was a super hoe.
A lot of promiscuous men have turned out to be gay on the low.
Had them all.
Same with women.
He was a super hoe.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, hey, Chris is messy though. Even outside of that, he's done a lot of foul shit. But hey, it is what it is. But like I said,
see now what you sitting now with, this is stuff I didn't know. I'm gonna have to investigate. You know what I mean? And he's here to defend himself. So I had a live stream, and I put that out there, and I continuously put that out there, and he put on my live stream and be like, "Well, he come up with the teacher shit."
I mean, it's not that he didn't teach. It's not that he didn't teach nobody nothing, but even when you think about the way that he used to push the envelope with the hip hop temple and the school of hip hop and just his opinion on things and things like that. He wasn't always right about everything, but he was very strong in his convictions. That was respectable, but was he right about everything? No.
Well, like you said, I don't look for perfection from anybody, but I'm not going to condone the ignorance of anybody. You understand what I'm saying? There's a difference between perfection and condoning somebody. You can not be perfect, but how be damned if I sit back and condone your ignorance and your disrespect.
Well, I'm going to say it. I'll say it in a different way. Malcolm X died broke. Does that take away from the fact that he helped a lot of people? No.
No, it doesn't. No.
Martin Luther King, was worse than an alley cat on tour. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that don't take.
An alley cat on
well,
tour.
He was. The motherfucker. Shit. If Malcolm wasn't nothing, he was faithful to his wife and his family. Martin, no. He was gonna get this pussy. He like, shit. Man, I'm here getting locked up, putting my life on the line, all this shit. You know what I mean? Shit. You know what I mean? This chick, this civil rights worker wanna, she trying to get smutted. I'm smutting. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But does that take away from the fact that? Does it take away from what he gave to people and what his movement stood for? No, it doesn't take away from that. But the truth is the truth. Facts.
Coretta had boring puss.
Well, shit. Coretta looked white herself. She didn't look like no black woman. I mean, shit.
I mean, that's what he had a dream about.
Shit, I always looked at Coretta like, was she Indian or something? She ain't look like she ain't look like your average, black woman. You know what I'm saying? She definitely, but you have to also remember, I don't know if you know this part of history, but But Martin wanted to marry a white woman when he was in college. Now think about that in Alabama at the time he was in college. I imagine. So they had to talk him out of that. Like, yo,
You
dog.
went to college in Alabama?
I'm talking about him living in Alabama.
Okay.
Him living in Alabama.
He was a young buck.
Yeah.
I'm 14.
Well, he wanted to marry. He was dating this white girl, and he wanted to marry her, and they had this. Martin, look, we got Coretta over here. You know what I mean? Next best thing. You know what I mean? We can't let you do that butter, but we got this. I can't believe it's not butter over here. You know what I mean? So you better rock with this.
I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not butter.
MKO said, "Damn, Martin had that dog in him."
You damn right. I got a lot of what the fuck I just heard shit on his phone tonight.
MKO, Miko, he had a lot of dog in. He did, but I mean, what powerful, intelligent.
Well, see, you know what fucks me up though, son.
Any man,
we'll sit up there. Like I remember when he was sitting up when he was going around telling them to take down these Confederate statues and stuff like that and everything. And he was talking about nobody ever said there's a name on a state building in Washington that they should have been took his name off the building. And you know the building, and you know what you know the building I'm talking about.
Wait, what you talking about?
The FBI building.
Oh, Hoover?
Yes, they should have been took his name off that building.
They're never going to. He built the FBI. His name ain't never coming up off that shit.
He also was a racist bastard that dressed in drag and killed a lot of our heroes. And had something to do with the murder of a lot of our heroes.
That's true. But and that's the funny thing. But one thing I'll give to J. Edgar Hoover is that he was an equal opportunity manipulating asshole. He didn't care if you was black or white. He was going to get your ass. And that motherfucker is responsible for gays not being able to join the military, and he was gayer than gay.
Yes, but the thing about it is
he was projected.
If you was white and you went against him, that's what it was. If you was white and you had a kindness to African Americans, he came after you.
But he was the one that was solely responsible for the gays not being able to join the military. So he was projecting the whole time.
He was gay.
Openly gay and married.
He wasn't going to join his military.
You know what? J. Edgar Hoover should have been considered the first successful trans woman and shit. But anyway,
him and the boy George Santo would have been beautiful together.
But I'll tell you one thing. I have never heard anybody call J. Edgar Hoover the man. I've never known anybody who liked that motherfucker.
Sure. That's one thing. He should have his name on the state building.
I mean, he built the FBI. He gave them what they wanted.
Huh?
He gave them what they wanted, unfortunately.
Yeah, he gave them a lot of death of African Americans.
He gave them what they wanted. Like I said, he was an equal opportunity. He killed a lot of white people too.
But he killed white people that had something that had dealings with African Americans during the civil rights movement. He just didn't come after them.
So you don't think
why he came after them.
You don't think he knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa?
I believe he do. I believe he did. You know what I mean? Well, that was a whole different thing. It had something to do with money.
He had surveillance and dirt on everybody.
Yes.
So it wasn't just black people who he was targeting. He
pretty much he was a modern day. He was a back in the day Diddy. He had tapes and audio of things that if you did something wrong, he gonna pull that shit out.
He was way worse.
Yes.
He was way. He was.
We don't know about way worse because we haven't found out.
No, he was way worse because you didn't have to come to him in order.
No, he wasn't way worse because he ain't no baby or no son.
You know what? Look, we not doing this. You know what I mean? I had a long day. I'm not putting up with your shit tonight. That's like, you gonna have to stay. You gonna have to.
Had the Johnson and Johnson.
You gonna have to stand down. I can't do it. But yeah, you know, whether it's a celebrity or a public figure or a politician or whatever, or it could be, you know, I mean, a lot of people just, like I said, I don't like nobody saying nothing bad about my mom. I don't like it. You know what I mean? It makes me uncomfortable.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't say shit about mom. You can't say shit about mom, dude. You can't say shit about. I think all my elders. Well, let me just take people out of it. My older brother, y'all can say whatever y'all fucking want to say about him. Matter of fact, I implore y'all to. I will give y'all his name. Y'all can look him up and y'all can do whatever y'all want. I'll put his phone number and y'all can call him pussies and bitches. My aunts, Beverly and Aileen, yes, most definitely. Same thing with them. Fuck them bitches. Fuck them. Now, I give my sister a pass because she's the only girl. My mom, God rest her soul, when she was here or whether she's not here, you can't talk bad about mom dupes. My dad, I'll give you a little bit. Go ahead talk about him. But John Gladden, grandfather, no. Mary Gladden, Ella Gladden, even though she was just the same way as my father, my maternal grandmother, she was the same way as my father. They wanted nothing to do with me because I had a relationship with my grandfather's wife. You know, and there's certain people that you just can't talk bad about. Don't talk bad about them around me. Because I'm going to say something back to you, and when I say it back to you, it's going to be hurtful as shit.
Yeah, I understand that. I do. I understand that. But when you really think about it, when you really think about the reasons why you won't allow somebody to say anything bad about somebody that you love, care about, or respect, I mean, it can be deeply personal because you may feel like they saved your life in one way or another, and you know, and you respect the fact that they did that, and you may have contempt for the fact that somebody doesn't understand the impact that they had on your life. And you know, and when you are respectful of others, like, okay, all right, for example, like I said, I don't talk about people's moms or their dads. You know what I mean? Like, it's off limits. I don't talk about people's spouses. Like, it's not my business. You understand what I mean? I wasn't always that way. I learned, you know, now when it came to parents, I have always been that way. But when it came to, you know, people's men or women, you know, spouses and stuff like that, I wasn't always tight-lipped. But as I got older, I started to understand, like, oh, yeah, you know, a lot of things can happen between a man and a woman, and you won't understand, you know, why somebody is with somebody that you wouldn't want to be with. But you don't feel those feelings that they feel. Like, what drives them to be with that person is not what drives you. So yeah, it makes sense that you don't understand, but that's okay. All you have to do is keep your mouth shut and listen. If you have something to say, you can say it when they ain't around. And because everything don't have to be said to the person. You know, like there's some people who take on the mantra of people just don't like me because I tell the truth all the time. Well, it might not be your job to tell the truth on some people. You know what I mean? Nobody asks you for that truth. That's their truth. And it ain't for you to tell. So when you get backlash about telling the truth and you don't feel like you deserve it, well, guess what? You have full control over that. You ain't have to open your big fat mouth. And maybe had you not, maybe things would be a little bit different. Now, that's a lot different than protecting a predator or an offender or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, matters of the heart. Shut your fucking
Give
mouth.
me an example of something. Why can nobody talk about mom dudes?
With my mom?
Yeah.
Because that's the woman who birthed me.
Here you go.
That was my first woman.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know about women if it wouldn't have been for her. And she's always been my example of what a good woman should be. And she still is. So why would I let you, disrespect her? She didn't do anything to be disrespected by anybody that I'm aware of. So why would I do it? I mean, plus, like I said, that's my motherfucking mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't care if my mom or my dad wasn't in my life. It's not for you to talk about that. If I want to talk about it and I invite you to, that's one thing. But if I don't invite you to that party, then don't.
You jump in the road.
Don't crash that. Don't crash
that. You jump in the
that.
road, it ain't turning.
Fake.
You playing double dutch, but you ain't turning the road. Why you jumping the fuck in?
Fake wristband, black light, ink having ass motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? That ain't our shit. So yeah, man. It's I just don't think it's cool. Like, it's a funny thing because if somebody ever tried to talk about my mom, I don't snap on them. Like, I give them this look, like.
Hey, that's all you gotta do. If they don't know who you are, they don't know who you are.
It's not about that. But the look I'm giving them is like, like, I know things about your mom. I ain't never say nothing. Do you know why? Like, I know that my tongue is sharp. You understand what I mean?
Then I'm like,
it's bad. It's bad to the point where I consciously made the decision not to use it most times.
Rattlesnake / cobra, like.
Man, when you get to know a person, you know where their pressure points are. So I could fuck you up badly all day. I can make you want to kill me. And I've made some people want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, but you invited this. You lit the fuse. Like it wasn't going to make its way to the stick of dynamite. And now it blew up. You all fucked up. Now you want to sue? Hey, you ain't have to like that. So, sometimes there've been times when I kindly had to say, like, well, I never said nothing about your mom. I'm trying to let you know. I'm trying to give you a soft warning. Like,
you say something about mom, dude. I'm just gonna be a little bit verbal. Like, I think that you need to step off because I don't appreciate what you just said out your fucking mouth.
Years ago, I was messing with this Dominican chick. She was black, but she was Dominican. Barely speak English, you know what I'm saying? And she was saying something about my mom, and she was trying to be playful about it. You know what I mean? I was like, you don't even have a relationship with your mom.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Like, I don't think she recognized what she was doing. But I'm like, you don't have a relationship with your mom. I know what that pain is about. Now, you're not trying to hurt my mom's feelings or even mine. And I recognize that because of the language barrier, you don't know what the fuck to say. but you fucking up. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have a right to speak on this.
Like, it's just, what did she say? She said something about, something like my mom not taking care of herself because I think she was under the weather at one time. You know what I mean? Now, you got to understand, this was easily 12, or this had to be like 2012 or 13 or 14. So it was easily somewhere between 11 and 13 years ago. But I was just like, yeah, you gotta take some more English classes, Joy. You ain't, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, that's somewhat, well, my mom had, well, that's something, it's not something similar, but what happened was, I don't know if I told you the story, but when my mom passed away, my niece had the power of attorney, so I'm asking her how much money my mom got on her life insurance. She asked me why I wanted to know that, and then called one of my other aunts. Her name was Beverly. And then I asked her, she said, why I want to know that, and then called one of my other aunts. So I'm asking, I went from a two-way call to a four-way call. I turned the hell back around. You know, they start getting on my nerves. I just snapped on all of them. Called them, because the reason why y'all, the reason why y'all in everybody's business is because y'all not getting no dick. I said, both of y'all like bulldaggers. Either get some dick or get some pussy, because that's the reason why y'all was jealous of my mother is y'all didn't have no kids, and she had all the love she can get from her kids and her grandkids. And y'all thought y'all can buy them. You know what I'm saying? And we got to the point where my aunt said, so you telling me that your mother was Mother Teresa? I said, compared to y'all bitches, you damn right. You damn right. My mother's Mother Teresa. Because she took on the responsibility of her children and people that wasn't her children in the community. And for that makes her great. She would feed the homeless. She would feed people around the neighborhood. She would give her, if she made plates of food, then people around the neighborhood had plates of food. You damn right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't talk about a person like that. You don't disrespect a person like that. You sit back and you know, I think a lot of stuff that I got from her is great. Sometimes I don't like the forgiving heart part. A lot of times I don't like that. But at the end of the day, there's certain attributes that I got from my mom that stick with me. You know, and at the end of the day, you talk about her, you might as well let's just get that shit on, man. Let's just get it on, man. ain't no reason to even talk. What's up? What you want to do?
I hear you.
All
right,
that's
man.
the thing about it.
Yo,
you know.
It's after 4. You
Well, we
know
had fun. We had fun.
It was beautiful. It was lovely.
You know what I mean? I like to thank the people. I ain't never meet a lot of these people on the live stream. Dr. Bolton, you know, I remember Miko, so Miko's always a pleasure. Maritza. But what was the other one name? But the one with the B?
Buana Haguski.
Man, I don't know how you pronounce that name. See, that's that Penn State shit in you.
Just say Buana.
Buana.
There you go. All right.
Buana. But yeah, that was funny as shit.
All right. Let's get on up out of here, man.
All right, boy. Love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Take care.
All right.
All right. All right, y'all. We're gonna do the poll results. This is the most lopsided poll that I think I've done so far. Who is the person who you won't allow anyone to talk about, no matter what they do? Mom, dad, or child or children. 81%. It looks like most of us are in agreement. Listen, don't talk about my mom. Don't talk about my family. Don't talk about my children. Off limits. Don't try it. Spouse, lover, man, woman. A mere 4%. So most people in this poll said, I don't give a fuck if you talk about my girl, my wife. Fuck it, I talk about her too. This shit is crazy. Best friends or friends, 8%. Politicians, celebrities, 8%. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Y'all good when somebody talking about your man, talking about your woman, talking about your girl, talking about your boyfriend, talking about your spouse, talking about your wife, talking about your husband. Yeah, you can say whatever you want to about them. But if I find you talking about my president or my friend after school, y'all is crazy. Y'all are crazy. 4%. That probably add up to like 1 vote. This is wild. This is wild as hell, son. All right, man. We're going to do these birthday shout-outs. We're going to do these birthday shout-outs. We have some birthday shout-outs. Some people were born on this glorious. Come on, man. All right, hold on. Fuck this. Let me refresh this shit. Glorious. May 6th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number 1 out the box. My auntie, Gloria McIntyre. Happy birthday to you, auntie. And also my man, Ray Haynes. Happy birthday. And my cuz, Deneen, Nee McIntyre Vines. Happy birthday, cuz. And Richardson, Chantel Richardson. And Ebony, no. Beena Bean. Happy birthday to you, Beena Bean. And Gwen Beal Williams. Happy birthday. And also Cadillac Lewis, happy birthday to you, ma. And on Mayi Johnson, my girl, Dewan Nicole Hollis, local Philly rapper, Dewan Nicole Hollis, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, my girl, Carrie Ann Mannings. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 6th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud, just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on into the damn, the rock out, rock on into do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for yours. And, hey, yo, he was the man to you. He was a bum to me. But, yo, we still to come together and see. Yeah, well, we don't appreciate the same things, but it don't mean that we have to hate. It's going to work out fine as long as you have your own heroes and I have mine. None of them are perfect to the letter, but I know that in my life I'm going to be striving for better. I'm not going to let a motherfucker suckers come around me trying to be jelly like Smuckers. Yo, strawberry preserve, and I'ma make sure the words get said that he deserves. And that's my word. I'm telling the truth, but make sure my truth is tempered, so I don't raise temper. Tempers are flaring, and people be mouthing off, acting like they ain't caring, thinking they got the Karen approach. And I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's blaring like a roach and climbing on the wall. When you figure out why the roach climbs on the wall, you're gonna understand the world, y'all. because I don't really know the meaning of that, but for my peoples, I'ma always go to bat. Yo, if you need me, you know where to find you can find me. And you can best believe if you are behind me, I'ma stand in front of you and run that tape. And I ain't trying to let you get caught out there. I got a cape. A Superman is what I'm going to be today. If you try to take down my peace, yo, hey, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to solve them for you like a Rubik's Cube. You won't be breathing through a breathing tube. And I'ma shit bag your ass. I ain't trying to let you know that I'm tough, but when enough is enough, yo, you don't disrespect my fam. And I know that I always give a damn who it is. If you ain't in my circle, there's a good chance if you disrespect, I hurt you. And it's really not about the violence. I'd rather be peaceful, but you gotta understand it's the East, yo. And I'm from Philly. That is my town. So, you know, we used to be good with the hands. Can't fuck around. Schoolyard fights after school. I'ma see you. And if I see you, I really wouldn't want to be you. My man Troy took the eye socket out. Yo, I don't know what that shit is all about. Some people got to aim in and go for your name, and you gonna be down infamous, but not for the fame. The game is gonna get run. Have a lot of fun. Yo, KRS-One. Yo, shit weighs a ton. I'm telling you a little story tomorrow, because right now I gotta go to sleep. I can't do it. The sorrow be making me drop tears when I think about the people that I lost over the years, and beers had to get drunk, but I don't drink to be sad. I drink to be happy. I drink to be glad, and I don't drink no more. Yo, December 8th, 2012, took my last drink, and I feel well. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Make sure you come through. And I appreciate all of y'all coming through, man. I really do. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I just want to tell y'all one thing before I get out of here. And this was kind of like the motivation for this show tonight. Kinda. On social media today, I saw an old friend or acquaintance of mine that I sort of watched grow up. And I noticed that his profile picture was his mom. And I knew his mom, because they used to live in the building next door to my office that we had been in for almost 30 years. Okay. So when I saw his mom on his profile picture, I said, oh shit. Me and his mom, we was cool. And, you know, she had been on drugs before, got clean. She was doing well. She used to comment on some of my posts and all of that. And, you know, even though I didn't know her from social media, that was the only connection that we had at this time. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go to her profile. And because I kind of knew what it was hitting for. First, I went to his profile and I saw that he had all this, you know, I miss you, mom, so much, and blah, blah, blah. So I went to her profile, man. Do you know she had been gone since December 15th, 2023? I hadn't even noticed that I hadn't seen her post anything. She used to play them game, you know, them war games, them war gangster games online on Facebook or whatever. She used to try to get me to play with all the time. I wouldn't play. And I hadn't noticed that I hadn't seen her send me an invite. And I was like, damn it. It's been a year and a half. She been gone. I would have went to the funeral on some. I knew their whole family. So, man, you know, I'm saying all that to say that check up on your peoples, man. Check up on your peoples, whether they are close or whether they far away. Check up on your peoples. I ain't gonna lie, that shit had me feeling some kind of way for all day. You don't have to lose somebody. Somebody doesn't have to be close to you for you to feel the loss. Sometimes it's just the people that you knew. Because we wasn't close, but we was good. Check up on your peoples. You haven't seen, it might be hard for you to track who you haven't seen in a while or whatever, but yo, check up on them. Go, if online is the only place, go to their pages, get in their inbox, give them a heads up. Yo, I'm just hollering at you, make sure you breathing and doing okay. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to drop the good word on you. Because I really would have liked to have gone to a funeral. Because I would have seen all of them. I haven't physically seen none of them since like maybe 2008, 2000, you know what I mean? Like, so I just wanted to tell y'all that. Like I said, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Make sure y'all come on through. Damn, Darnell, Dr. Darnell, you came back. Appreciate that. He says, everyone we know makes our reality. Go through your phone and send text to everyone. I think that's a good idea. I really do. Y'all have a good night. Y'all know by the time we finish this show, either you getting ready to go to work or you're getting ready to go to bed. I'm about to do the latter. It's time for me to go. I go night-night. Yo, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Peace.